Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Living the Dream podcast. Today we have a very special guest, Annamaria Tushaj, and I will introduce her in just a second. But first, I just want to say thank you for all of the support on episode 1, 2, and 3. Honestly, we have been getting a lot of good support, so thank you guys. I do have our giveaway winners here, so we'll do that at the end of the episode. But if you haven't listened to episode 3 yet, make sure you go give that a listen. I talked with my friend Tim, who's a mortgage broker, all about home buying, some different tips and advice, and also just some motivation and leaving the corporate world, which we'll probably also talk about here today. But before we get into it, let me introduce my guest. So we have Annamaria here. She is a longtime friend of mine. We actually used to work together. And she is also a mother, a wife. I wrote on my sheet, a sweet, precious soul, because that's how I think of her. Yeah. She's just very kind and very just precious. So, Annamaria is in the marketing and branding space, so I thought this would be a good topic to talk about for small business owners or just people in general that need to work on their branding. And yeah, it's just she's developed her own business. So we're going to get into a lot of that. So first and foremost, how are you doing, Annamaria?
I'm so good. Mm-hmm. Sun's out, which is rare for Michigan winter time.
Yeah.
Got my workout in. Family pancake breakfast. And now I get to be here with you.
Amazing. We love it.
Yes.
So I guess just kind of jumping right into things, Annamaria and we used to work together. She left the corporate world and kind of branched out on her own. She now has her own business doing branding and rebranding for businesses. Working on websites and things like that. So if you want to kind of talk about your company, how that started, how you got into all of that, just give us the rundown.
Yeah. So I come from a family of business owners for 40 years. Like my dad, my uncle, other uncles, they've all been in business. So my dad actually is in the construction world and been there for a while, has 2 companies, no website. I'm like, you need a website. What are you doing? Like me, I feel like I don't want to say nosy, but like I love to like look at a company's website, check them out, look at their reviews, see what they're all about before I even reach out to them. So that's something like I've always done. So I'm like, let me make you a website. I've dabbled in it in the past too. And it's a really good creative outlet for me. So I made them their websites, and then it kind of like spiraled from there. So I had another family member who is a business owner. She's a mom. She's like a powerhouse. She's like, I need a website. I'm so busy. And my main goal is to kind of streamline my ordering system. So like, can you please help me? And I'm like, love to. Sure. Yeah. Did that. Looked great. She loved it. And she's like, you know what? You need to do this. You need to offer your services to people. There's so many people out there like me that are so busy. And especially as a mom of 4, business owner, husband works full time.
Yeah.
She couldn't carve out the time to do it herself. So she inspired me, and here we are. And I love it so much. So, I love working with people too. This is just in a different capacity than what I'm used to.
Right. So obviously you used to work in HR, and that's working with people. This is a whole other realm of things. Yes. So it's pretty interesting. And it's kind of funny that you say that about your dad, because when I am also looking for people, I will try to find a website. And if I go onto like Google and I'm just searching up something, don't see that, there's no button that says website. I'm like,
you lose
supposed to,
you just lost a customer.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, next. Like it just makes things a lot more easy. So yeah, that's really, that's really cool.
And social media is like an awesome tool
for sure
to gain clients. But like you said, because I'm the same way as you, I Google still. And if there's no website, I'm like, I'm just looking for the next person. And then I kind of forget about you.
Right.
So that's why it's just a really good resource to have a website.
For sure. So tell us what your brand is, what's your company, what are you all about, and just plug yourself. Tell us what you do.
You got it. So my company name, LMT Design. LMT, a lot of people are like, what's LMT? And it's
I asked.
I did ask. It's my son's initials, Lorenzo Mark Tushaj, the love of my life.
Yep.
But no, I am a website and branding company. It's only me. I'm solo. I help businesses build their brand, what they envision themselves as, like, how can we get better? That's what I do.
Yeah.
Build them websites that aren't clunky, that are easy to navigate. They have call to actions. Hopefully you're getting more sales from that. A great way to represent their business too. So that's what I do.
So with social media, because obviously if you started in the website space, how did you then branch into rebranding and doing the social media and all of that kind of aspect of your business?
Yeah, that's a good question. So first, I started off doing websites only. And I know this might sound a little like mean, but I remember doing a website for somebody. Great guy. But I'm like, I just like wish your logo and like your color, like it's just so not cohesive.
Yeah.
And I feel like the website would just like really pop if everything was cohesive, everything blended together. You had your logo that didn't look like it was like 50 years old, you know? But I mean, obviously I didn't say that to him, you know? So then it kind of got me thinking, I'm like, why don't I offer that as a service and really like dive deep into that, learn the ins and outs, which is gave me a whole new skill set that I just like love like Adobe and everything. So that's kind of how it started. That was like the spark.
Yeah.
And now when I do talk to clients about like their website too, that's something I ask them. I'm like, your branding, like, how do you feel about it? And, you know, like the most previous person I've been working with, she did everything and everything just like flows so beautifully. So that is how that started.
That's really interesting because to have that eye to see, like, your logo could be more cohesive and your website could flow better. Like, I probably wouldn't look at someone's website and see that. And I like to think of myself as a creative person, but you obviously have a knack for that, to be able to see that. And I don't think it's a bad thing to say, yeah, your logo looks 50 years old. Like, you see brands all the time develop their brand or their logo or things like that. I mean, look at Nike, like they have evolved over time. So I think that that's good, that, you know, and to be able to offer that is really cool. So kind of getting into, you know, you said you've learned a lot. What kinds of things have you learned?
Yeah. So the Adobe suite, like Illustrator, Photoshop, Adobe Express, Canva, things like that, Wix. I love designing in Wix, but Wix Studio. So I try to always like continuously improve because we all have space for that, right? Yeah. So I try to take like a training at least every month. I have an Adobe course that I bought from like this amazing designer. Like the things he builds is like incredible, and he offered a course, and it's like 20 hours long, but it just breaks everything down and it helps so much. So a lot of learning from him, looking at other professionals in the field too that have been successful, seeing their processes, reaching out to them. And so it's been awesome. Yeah.
So how, with obviously there's people that go to school for this and get degrees in this, and you don't have that. So how do you separate yourself and still build your clientele and tell people you're reliable and that you know what you're doing? Like, do people ever question that, or how do you kind of market yourself in that way?
Right. No, I haven't been questioned, but I am a firm believer. I believe in myself, like, wholeheartedly.
As
so
you
like,
should.
yeah. So like, I believe if you want to learn something, you can do it. If you put your best foot forward, you're going to be successful in it. And so like, no, I've never let that hold me back, that I don't have like a degree from a college of creative studies. Like, I have my bachelor's in business, but it's different, you know? But just believing, being eager, being willing to put in the time, and always staying positive, because you can look at other people that have been in my industry for years. And I'm like, wow, their skills are amazing. Like, that's awesome. And instead of being like, well, they have this, they have the background, you know?
Yeah.
I don't let those negative thoughts get to me. You know what I'm saying? I just put my best foot forward. And if I want to learn something, I do it. I have my portfolio to show my clients. So I always like to give them examples too. Yeah. too. So I haven't been questioned, but I feel like if you do put your best foot forward, if you're willing to go above and beyond for your clients and deliver what they need and what they want, then that's the best. Yeah, that's the best. You don't need a degree technically.
Yeah. I love that, because I think, like, with what I do too with my business, or even with podcasting, like, I don't know anything about this stuff, but if you put in the time and the research and you practice, and I think your work speaks for itself, where, like you said, you have your portfolio, you can show your clients. And so obviously you're taking the time to not only invest in yourself, but you're taking the time to learn these new skills and make sure that whatever you're doing, you're putting your best foot forward. Right. And what I will say about the positivity is Annamaria is one of the most positive people that you will ever know, if you ever know her. But she is one of the most positive people.
Mindset controls your life.
It's everything. So let's talk a little bit about your process. So when you get a new client, and you know, whether they're coming to you for a website or a rebrand, like, what does the process look like?
Sure. Yeah. So normally I set up a call with them after, typically, like, I get word of mouth clients or Instagram. So we're either texting or on social media. So I set up a call. That way I can, like, hear their voice and they can hear mine, and we can get to know each other a little bit better. I explain the process in depth. I explain timeline, design process, pricing too. And then I actually give them some homework to do. So if they wish to move forward, I have like a very in-depth design questionnaire that allows me to get a feel for their brand, to where they're like putting their thoughts on paper and I can read it and look into it. That way, like, I know what they want, how they feel about their brand, their ideal client, dream client, current client, what they don't like, what they do like, what their vision is. So that way it's way less of like us bouncing back and forth, or me like designing a complete brand or a website for them. And they're like, oh my God, I hate those colors. Like, I don't even like those colors. Or, you know, this is not what I envisioned. So I feel like that is probably one of the most important pieces of the process is that homework.
And that's interesting, because when I've had my small business for going on 4 years now, and I've never done something like that, but I didn't even know something like that existed, the questionnaire, when I was starting this podcast and I was going through kind of like what I wanted the podcast to be like and just doing my research. I found out that there's these things called brand questionnaires. So I started doing one for the podcast, and I really should do one for To Die For as well. But that's definitely something that I feel like a lot of people wouldn't even know. And even if you're not going through a rebrand or you're going through this for the first time, you should probably do that for your business, just to know what your audience is and what you like and those kinds of things.
That way you can like speak on it if someone asks you, you know, instead of having your thoughts all over the place. It's good to really like hone in and know your business, know your brand. That way people can feel your brand.
For sure.
Like, excited about it. So.
What would you say is your ideal client?
My ideal client. I love working with people that like evolves into a friendship, first of all. That's great. Someone that's not just like, I need this, and this. Like that we like work together. We bounce off ideas off one another. Building those relationships. It's so important. Because a lot of my clients have like come back for other things. So that's really important to me. Having a good relationship is always like ideal for me. And then as far as like working with businesses too, it would be cool. Like I like working with businesses that like their company evokes some sort of emotion for me too. So like photography, like I love looking at photography. I do. Like I love looking at other people's like weddings or like family, and like you feel something from it, or like jewelry, like it brings some sort of emotion to you. Florists, things like that. Not to say like working with someone who's maybe in the trade, like not to say that I don't want to work with them, but I like feeling something from them from the start.
Get you more excited about what you're gonna
that
work
passion
on that day.
But overall, like that relationship is really big for me.
I like that too.
And like they let me have like the design freedom, because I know sometimes people have like an idea of what they want. But it's good to work with like a designer too, to get a different perspective.
Right.
So
and you know what, from a branding and design aspect, what is kind of expected and what should be, you know, like my logo for To Die For, I hate it. I literally hate it.
Stop.
And it's like, I know that it could be a lot better. And I know we've talked about like rebranding and everything, but it's like from a design standpoint. And I think I felt almost inspired by you doing these rebrands and me seeing your, you know, your posts of like the logos and just everything you offer. And I'm like, oh my God, my logo actually kind of sucks. Like, this is horrible. So,
but that's like one thing that like I ask people, like, are you proud of your logo? Are you proud of your branding? And if you're not, then like you have to change it. Like that's your company, you know, like. And
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I think it's fine. It's just more so like I don't have like the secondary logo and I don't have like the brand colors specifically. So I don't know. What would you say, you know, aside from the building relationships, how do you differ from other companies that are maybe doing the same thing as you?
Good question. So what's different from me is like, I don't let like little things slide, if that makes sense. So like if something's like, that looks fine, like we can move on. Like, no, like it has to be like, that looks great, or that's exactly what they want. It's not like, I don't cut corners. I don't believe in cutting corners for myself and for my client too. So like, I'm not going to stop at 93%. Like you're going to get your 100% of how you feel about your brand. That's huge with me. And then I feel like that comes from just like a genuine aspect. So like, I genuinely want to see you succeed. I want your brand to succeed. I want to win together with you. So that's how I feel I am different from others.
Probably something I should have even asked early on is, why is branding someone's company so important? Like, why, when you noticed, obviously the website is pretty obvious. You should have a website to build your business, but why is having a good logo so important to a business?
So like branding, I always say, is like the heart of your business, right? And everything kind of flows out of that. And it's not just like a logo too, which is what a lot of people think, you know, like you can have, when it comes to like good branding, you know, you want your logo, of course, your primary, but it's important to have like a secondary or like a brand mark that someone can see that and like recognize you. And then other like aspects of branding too is like your color scheme. Does it motivate your clients to buy from you? It's not just like purple's my favorite color, so like I want my branding to be purple.
Right.
You know, it's what motivates your seller, which is like a research component of like the strategy that I build for you too. Your fonts, like, do you pick your favorite font that day and then the next day it's a different one? Like it's not going to flow, you know. It's like branding is supposed to flow, like good branding, good design. You don't notice it, they say, because it just flows, right? So when you go, like, think of like your favorite company, let's just say Target, because we all love Target, right? You think of their colors. You see like a bullseye, and it doesn't even have to say Target. You're like, that's Target. That's good branding.
Even the red, like you walk in Target and you see someone with a red shirt on and maybe khaki pants, and you think they work at Target, and they might not. But that's what the brand does for it.
It's true, though. That's good branding. It's seamless. You don't notice good design, but you notice bad design. Right? So, this sounds horrible. But like you go to a website and it's someone maybe you know, and you're like, oh my gosh, this could be so much better. You know? So awesome, but this looks like a lesser version of that.
Right.
And maybe that's just me because I'm so visual too. So I don't know. Like,
no, I think that's really helpful.
Like there's this one person that reached out and they expanded their business, got a partner, and their partner they're going through like the merging process too. So I, did my homework and I was looking at her website and like, wow, we can improve. And that's what bad branding does. Yeah. It's true though. I was like, ooh. Yeah. Not cohesive.
I'm like, are you talking about
me? No.
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 I'm just kidding. So what would you say is your favorite social media platform? I know you post on Instagram a lot.
It's totally Instagram.
Yeah.
And that was a learning curve for me too. Just being like honest, having to use social media more.
Yeah. Cause you were never a big social media person.
No, never. So that has been like a big learning curve for me too, especially with like Instagram. And I never made a reel before starting my business.
Yeah.
There's little secrets out.
Here you are.
I just didn't. So here I am now, come a long way. But I've recently started a Facebook. So just totally candid here. I needed to for like my ads. I couldn't post ads.
Yeah, because it's connected with Instagram and Facebook.
Yes, but I'm getting some traffic too. So, and I know you've told me I need to make a TikTok, so that might be something this year.
But TikTok, it's easy because if you're already making reels, you just use that content.
Yes. Yeah. So that's going to be something I'm going to learn too and take that challenge on.
Yeah, and you'll be great at it with like Instagram or, any social media, I guess. Do you do a lot of research on the algorithms and how those play and like post times and like for your business specifically? I have been looking into that a lot more the past like few months because if you were to tell me a year ago, like there's an algorithm for Instagram, I'd be like, yeah, what are you talking about? Right. And it's so true. Like there is so much research when it comes to that, like hooks, the time you post. And yes, so I do follow a lot of social media accounts that like help with tips and stuff like that I've learned a lot from. So they're definitely experts. Yeah, I feel like Instagram for me, I don't know if I'm not consistent enough. I really try to post a couple times a week on Instagram and keep my stories active, but I feel like my stuff just doesn't get shown, especially with my business page. I'm like, come on, why do I only get 3 likes on this post? Like, or like a reel, I'm getting like 10 likes. And I'm like, I have like almost 500 followers. Like, what's going on?
Right. So there's actually like, I've been seeing it more too, like adding SEO.
Mm-hmm. Which
to,
is
like,
something
stories.
I did want to talk to you about too.
Yeah. So like I've been doing that, and I like whenever I add like SEO, I do seem to get more like story views.
Mm-hmm. Can you explain what SEO is for the people at home?
Yes. So SEO is search engine optimization. And obviously, like when you're building a website, that's something like you have to do, in my opinion. Like that's something you definitely don't want to skip out on. That's how you get found on search engines. Mm-hmm. So there are different keywords that you would use for different parts of like your website that help you like get shown in Google. So, but it's tricky too, because there's certain words that, you know, might have like a high competition to them. Mm-hmm. So you, even if you're using it, it's a very competitive keyword. So you might not even get found. So the key is to look for a strong word with low competition. So there's resources out there that are actually free. But I know there are like lots of SEO companies too that help with that. Yeah. But it's important. And so like with Instagram, I was like, what? You can do that. And yeah,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
So what do you do? How do you put it into the story?
I add like my hashtags and I make them like really, really small and I hide them behind a picture. Yeah. So that's how I do it.
I think I heard, like, can't you only put like 6 hashtags in an Instagram story, or
I think it's 30.
Oh,
I think it's 30. And I think that's in the for sure the post.
Oh yeah, for sure in the post.
And I just sometimes copy those and put them in. Or you could actually use like our good old friend new friend, ChatGPT. So like
always
AI, it's the way of the future, you know. A little scary sometimes, in my opinion, but it's really resourceful too. So you could actually like search on ChatGPT, like what are the top Instagram hashtags for a clothing brand today? And it will just like spit them out. And then you can put it in your story or in your post too. Huh. And then like
I do use ChatGPT a lot. For, like curating captions and stuff because they just make them a little bit more, I don't know.
Yeah, no,
better. More better. Because clearly I know how to talk.
No, it's definitely like a really good resource. ChatGPT is a great resource, but it's important to obviously like add your own flair to it and make it sound like you. Yeah. But yeah, it's been helpful for me. Yeah, for sure. Especially I use it a lot for like those hashtags and things of that nature, or to even help give me some like ideas about content writing and stuff. So yeah, I do love ChatGPT.
What are some, I don't want to say morals, but what are some ways that you want your brand to be perceived?
So when you look at my brand, I want it to look modern and timeless and not chaotic, just like elegant, timeless. I want you to feel like calm when you look at it. Because I feel like that's a good representation of just me.
I was just going to say, like, if that's not you to a T, like, I can just feel like anytime I'm around Annamaria, it's just like, it's just a breath of fresh air.
Thank you. Well, that's how I want people to feel. And I guess that goes to show like the power of branding. Like I want my own personal branding to like exude into my business.
Which is great. That's exactly, I feel like what branding should be. Because if you have two different, like personal brand and professional brand are not the same and they're clashing, it just makes things a little bit more difficult.
Definitely. I agree.
So obviously you left the corporate world.
Yeah.
You are a I don't like using the word stay-at-home mom because it makes you seem like you just stay at home with your child all day, and I feel like you do so much more than that.
I do a lot.
How do you balance having your almost terrible 2 son was having a rough morning today.
It's been a rough week getting those molars.
Yeah. But how do you balance being his mom, working on your business, developing your business, continuing to grow and learn? And like, how do you balance everything?
Well, first and foremost, it's really important to have like a good support system too. So like my husband is so supportive and he's so helpful with my son, with our son. But like staying home or just being home or the sole caregiver, it's like it's a job in itself. Like take out like everything else I do. It's tough. I mean, the other day I gave him a banana, which is his favorite food, and he cried for an hour because he was getting those molars. But like that's a challenge in itself. But my support system, so my husband, weekends, I do a lot of work on the weekends, which, it's not ideal, but it's okay because I love what I do. Yeah. It's life and it's fun and they get to bond too. But every nap time I'm working late. I work. There's so many nights where it's like 10 o'clock, which is late for me, but he goes to bed at 7. So like so just like getting in the time while I can. Yeah. That's how I balance that because obviously like his needs come before everything, and I want to be very present with him. Sure. And then aside from that too, I help my family business too seasonally. So juggling a lot, but just trying to stay organized, using a calendar, and like really going off of how I feel too. So like giving myself, like if I need a break, like I need a break too. Like if I feel emotionally drained, if it's a rough day, busy day with work or my son, it's okay to like do things for yourself, which is like something like I feel I really had to learn. Because I just feel like sometimes I can like keep going and keep going and keep going. And like, I don't want to get burnt out. Yes. And I don't ever want to get burnt out because then I'm not 100% with anything I do. So like last year too, I picked up reading again. And that's something like I love to do. Or lately, my new thing is when I wake up, I go on a little walk and I just walk a mile outside, even though it's cold. I try to do that. Like, let's do it 4 days a week. Getting in a workout too when I can. So doing things for myself, it makes me feel better. Honestly, it makes me feel so much better. And I feel like I could be a better mom, a business owner, a better daughter, a friend. Yeah. But just going off of like how I feel too. And then just utilizing the time when I can. Yeah, I mean, it's the weekend right now. We're out here. Here we are.
We're out here working.
No place I'd rather be, though.
Thank you. You're welcome. You're a solo shop. You're one woman show over here. So as your business continues to grow, do you think you'll ever get to the point where you're just like, this is too much for me, or you'll have a waiting list of clients, or like, how will you expand your business?
Yeah. So even like right now, I try to just take on a couple projects a month. So like my next project would probably be in April. But like right now, setting those like boundaries, because like I don't want to like overpromise and underdeliver. Sure. But if I get to that point, I would love that. I would love to have someone take on someone else, like a team member, and even learn from one another, like that has a different skill set from me. Yeah. So I'm definitely not opposed to that. That's something like I would actually feel like I would benefit from in the future.
You need like a little intern or something.
I know.
I mean, I'm not opposed. College students are looking for a little free, unpaid internship. Hit her up.
Yeah, I'm totally not opposed to it.
Yeah. What do you think are some common misconceptions people have about the space that you're in, or just maybe what you do?
Well, I try to not think of those things. Yeah. I try to not think of like anything negative, I guess, of what I do. because like I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, like like if they have a misconception of what I do, or that's okay. They can feel that way, but like I'm not gonna like dwell on it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's not gonna help me move forward.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think it's also,
unless I'm misunderstanding the question.
No. I think that was perfect. Do you think that people could look at your brand and go, well, this doesn't really look like something that, like, for example, the fact that you said you worked with your family's construction business. Mm-hmm. If I looked at your Instagram page, I wouldn't think she's rebranding a construction business because of what your brand looks like. It's very comforting and warm, like you said, and it has that modern elegance to it. Do you think that people would ever look at your brand and be like, she couldn't like rebrand for me because it doesn't align with my brand? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. And that could be fair. Maybe they're not looking for like a service that I have, or maybe they don't like my style, you know, and that's okay. You know, I personally try to like cater to elegance, timeless, not super loud designs. But yeah, I'm sure there are people out there that's like, you know what? I like it, but it's not for me. Yeah. And that's okay. Like, I'm okay with that. Yeah. Because there are other designers out there too that might be a better fit for them.
Yeah. And I think there's something to say about that, because you don't want to stray away from your brand in trying to rebrand someone else. Like you want to keep your values and what your brand stands for versus like changing everything just to get a customer and get the money.
Right. And that's so funny you bring that up, because when you are like anyone that's a new business owner, they're going to come across like what they call red flag clients. Mm-hmm. And we all have had them. You will have them if you're a new business owner or not a new business owner. Like there are red flag clients. Mm-hmm. And I will say, don't change your prices for people. Don't change your process. Obviously, if they need help with something and you could cater to them, of course do that. But like, if someone's like, nope, your prices are too high for me, what can you do? It's like, well, these are actually my prices. Mm-hmm. Like I devote myself to my process, making your brand the best it could be, or your website. This is what I have to offer. And, you know, if it's not in the budget, that's okay.
Yeah, I'm know here. Your value.
Yeah. So knowing your value. And I think that goes for every new business owner, because there will be people that are like, no, change the price or change this or this. And like,
and I think like I've seen this with my business where people will be like, well, can I get a discount? Like, I'm your friend. And I seen this post one time that was like, your friend should not ask you for a discount if they're trying to support your business. Right. And I know like we talked about rebranding, and I was like, I'm going to fit it in the budget because it's something that I need to do, but I'm not going to be like, well, you know, like we're friends, like you're on my podcast. Can you just like, no, I'm not going to do that, because I'm also a business owner and I know how it is. Like, I would not want you to come to me and be like, well, I'm your friend. Like, can you just knock off, you know, a little
half
bit?
The price.
Right. Like, no, we're not doing that. So that's good though. What are some challenges that you face?
Yeah. So I think one of the biggest challenges was just like being self-taught for sure. Mm-hmm. And putting in the time, because that is the hardest part of the process is like putting in the time, putting in the effort, having that growth mindset. But you know what? That's what like makes it worth it, makes you better, makes you an expert. That's been the biggest challenge. But like for me, like I said earlier, like I believe in myself wholeheartedly. Mm-hmm. So like if I want to do it, I'm going to do it. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to do it to the best of my capability. Mm-hmm. And just like letting that lead me throughout my entire life. It's not just like my business. It's like how I try to operate as a mom, as a wife. And of course, like we all make mistakes and stuff like that. Sure. But like just having that belief system in yourself will take you so far. Yeah. So far. And that's like the biggest piece of advice I could give to like anyone.
100%. And I think that is something that I have also learned in my business, because people will ask me, you know, like my whole business started just from people asking me, hey, can you do this? Can you do this? Or I'll see something on the internet. I mean, the Carhartt hats I did, like I didn't come up with that idea.
So many compliments on it.
But it's like, I was like, oh, I could probably do that. Taught myself how to do it. And that's a very popular item that I sell now, you know? Right. So it's like,
my brother saw it and he was like,
right.
Can she do deer antler?
Yeah. And I did.
Yeah, you did.
Believing. Yeah.
Believing
is achieving, boys and girls.
Exactly.
We're getting a little loopy over here. What are some goals that you have for your business this year?
Yeah, so it's an exciting one. I want to even go further with like total branding, and what that looks like. I don't want to like reveal it too much.
Okay.
But like total branding, when you think of either a rebrand or a new business, like obviously you have your logos, your colors, your fonts, everything that I offer, but like taking that to the next level. And it could include someone from the outside coming in to help me.
It could. Stay tuned. Go follow her, which we'll get to in a minute.
Yes.
So and I can see.
Thank you. And that would just like help a new business or like a rebranding business like tremendously.
Right.
Even further than just logos and fonts and colors and all of that strategy. It's taking it to another level.
Yeah, to the next level.
Yeah, so that's a goal this year.
Love
it.
Be
a new package.
I love that. I know you gave us some advice, but what is one piece of advice that you have for someone who maybe wants to get into this space, or even just someone that's starting a small business?
Obviously we talked about believing in ourselves, but I would say carve out time every week, especially in the beginning. Or if it's setting aside like 2 months to really hone in on like your craft, your vision, what you want to do. There was a period in time where like I launched and then I like was like, hang tight. I don't want to take any more clients on. I want to take 2 months and like build my craft. And then after that, it was just like, you know, so like taking the time to do that, whether if you can't take the 2 months or whatever the time looks like every week, utilize free resources. YouTube's your friend. There are so many like courses out there that are so expensive, thousands of dollars. And maybe you do want to take one of those and that's okay. But like try to utilize your free resources, reach out to professionals in the field, build a network.
Love it.
Thank you.
That was a lot of gems there for that one.
Yeah.
So we're obviously on living the dream.
Yes.
So tell me what is your dream?
My dream. First and foremost, I dream of my family being like happy, healthy. Like I want my kids to be like in their later teen years or early 20s and still want to hang out with us because I feel like we're pretty fun.
Pretty cool mom.
I'm a cool mom. I'm not a regular mom. But yeah, like obviously I want everyone to be happy, healthy, taken care of. That's a huge dream. But as far as like my business too, I want it to grow. It would be really cool to have a little team, maybe a little agency in the future.
LMT agency.
So we'll see, but I would love to be a family that travels together too. So like if I did have a remote agency, go spend the winter in Florida.
Yeah.
Go spend a month in Europe. Yeah. So like things like that, because my husband, a lot of his family is overseas, so it would be really cool to like spend more time with them too. So that's a dream of mine, like to have that flexibility.
Family, growth, love.
A lot of it's centered around my family.
Of course, that's who you are. Yeah. All right. Well, we have some rapid fire.
Ooh.
I did not tell her that she was getting rapid fire.
Ooh. Okay.
Just like 8 questions.
Sure.
So these are quick.
Quick. Okay.
Ask it, answer.
Ooh. Sometimes I like to talk.
Well, you can elaborate.
Oh, okay.
But
okay. I don't have to be like
you can't think too much.
Okay.
All right. Favorite thing to do when you're not working?
Okay. I love being outside. Like, I love going outside. We go outside, even though it's winter. I bundle that boy up and we go outside. Like, fresh air is good for the soul. So, and then in the summer, I have a pool in the back. Cool. We have woods back
barbecue.
There. Nice and secluded. Yes. A good barbecue. I love barbecuing. I love it. So just hanging out outside, favorite thing.
Love it. Favorite snack?
Oh, God. That's a hard one for me. We love food so much. That's a hard one. Like junk food snack or like?
Just whatever. Like, what are you going to go grab just for a little snack?
Probably a piece of fruit or something. I don't know. My mouth is
Health
watering thinking about pomegranates in my fridge. So
okay, healthy queen.
But we're a chip family too, so that's a good fun snack for us.
Love that.
Chips and dip.
One bucket list item.
Oof. That's another hard one for me. I like to go places, but big bucket list Euro trip.
Love.
Me and Urbis have talked about this trip for so long, and COVID messed it up, and then now we have a little one, so it would be harder to do now, but we would love to like fly into Italy, take a car, drive the coast, and go all through like Eastern Europe. So we want to hit like Croatia, Montenegro, get down to Albania, where his family is from, where he was born and raised. So I want to see it all.
Love.
It'd be really cool to see Greece too. But that's like a huge bucket list.
Yeah.
That's like one of my last ones aside from South Africa. So those are 2.
Wow.
I already hit my other 2. Brazil, Australia.
Love it.
So I gotta go the other 2.
Yep. Biggest inspiration?
My family just like inspires me. All of it, like even like from my parents to like my in-laws too. My parents are so hardworking, and they do everything for us, and really try to like keep the family together, as well as like I look at my husband's family too, that they moved here, like my in-laws when they were 50. Didn't speak English. Like that's such an inspiration to me.
Absolutely.
And even like my husband. So like people that really go out of their comfort zone to do better for themselves, their family. I'm huge on family, so
love it.
Yeah,
I love that.
Thanks.
Favorite ice cream?
Moose Tracks.
Love that.
Second in line, cookie dough.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Both really good.
Oh yeah.
We did touch on this. Favorite social media platform?
Instagram.
Insta.
I can maneuver it the best. It's the easiest for me, but I will be learning other platforms.
TikTok.
Yes.
Dream vacation spot we kind of just talked about. So sticking with that answer.
Euro trip.
That's a good one.
South Africa too.
Can't beat them.
No.
Honestly. Do you prefer movies or TV shows?
Probably TV shows. I'm not like a huge TV person, but it is time that we spend together in a way. Like, for some reason, like not that I can't get through a movie, but they're just
the
so
same way.
They're just so long. They're so long. So I like short shows.
Like, what else could I be doing right now?
Right. Like, I know. So, but there's like a show. What was it called? It was so funny. Cloud9.
I never watched
Cloud9. No, I don't think that's right. That was the store they worked at. But like little shows like Superstore. Yes.
Yeah.
Like things
I
like that.
I started watching that.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Superstore or like Friends or The Office. Yeah. Things like that. Love that. We like comedy too. So things like that. I'd rather watch like short funny things than like
same.
I hate war movies or anything like that. Makes me sad. Like I can't watch sad stuff.
Where can people find you? Plug yourself.
So you can find me on Instagram, lmt.design.co.
I'll link it.
Or my website, lmtdesign.co. You can find me there. And I'm also on LinkedIn too. Yeah. So you can find me on LinkedIn. Reach out.
Yes.
Very friendly.
She is friendly. Yeah. She's a friendly girl. All right. Well, we have to do our little drawing here for our episode 3 listeners. We got the names.
Can I pick?
Yep. And this person is winning To Die For merch, whatever of their choice. So pick one person.
Anna Gasor.
Anna Gazier.
I'm sorry, Anna.
It's okay.
I butchered your last name.
Anna. Yes, queen.
No, that wasn't planned because my name is Annamaria. Her name is Anna.
Yeah.
It wasn't written.
It wasn't. It's not. She picked it.
Yeah.
So, all right, Anna, we'll get you your To Die For. The last thing I will say is if you're listening to this, please subscribe, give a rating. This will help boost the podcast. I want to keep putting out this good content for you guys. So subscribe if you haven't. You'll get notified that there's a new episode. I'm going to try to get these out like every 2-3 weeks. So subscribe, give a rating, share on social media. Go follow me, follow Annamaria. And I will link everything in the description. Thank you, Annamaria.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for tuning in and living the dream.
Yes. Go live your dream.
Exactly.